Hey everyone, this is Dr. Nada, and today we're gonna get into what every single one of those fields does when you make a new class mod for Baldur's Gate 3. Wanna learn how to make a new class mod? Watch my video at the link that shows up at the top of the screen, or look at the video in the video description. Like usual, we're gonna make this video medical themed. This time, around colonoscopies! Since those extra fields are useful for special cases or exceptions. Or buts. There is a lot here in this video, much more than I actually anticipated. So colonoscopies will be the theme for the class descriptions file, and we're gonna make the progressions file topic Sven-Vinke themed. Everyone remember, the majority of you voted that an adventure in Sven-Vinke's large intestine would be the most exciting. So, you pretty much asked for this. As I showed in that new class video, you use two files when you make a new class. A progressions file and a class descriptions file. Well, in that video I show you how to make the progressions file first. We're gonna start with the class descriptions file in this video because it makes a little more sense since the progressions file ultimately codes each level for your class, which is coded by the class descriptions file. So first, we have the UUID field. This is a unique identifier that makes sure that the game keeps your class and the class descriptions file separate from everything else. Like a GI doctor, ensuring that you're the right person for their long and flexible endoscope. Second, we have the parent UUID field, which refers to a subclass's class name to further keep things organized. We're going to be making subclasses in a future video, so be sure to like and subscribe to make sure that you don't miss that. Third, we have the name field, which is going to be the name that you refer to in the toolkit. I recommend something descriptive like class USPSTF. Fourth, we have the display name, which will be the name of your class in-game. Naturally, pick something like Mushroom Hunter, which will make a little bit more sense once we get to the seventh field and are actually what polyps look like in a colonoscopy. Fifth, we have the short name field. So this one is going to be relevant for once you get to making subclasses, because it ultimately is the shortened name for a subclass. So if you have a hyperplastic polyp, tubular adenoma, or serrated polyp subclass, you can make your class name show up as serrated mushroom hunter rather than serrated polyp mushroom hunter. Sixth, we have the subclass title field, which is going to be the text that's at the top of the screen when you're picking your subclass. So if you want the text, pick your polyp at the top of the window, you could appropriately and informatively choose a hyperplastic polyp, which are generally thought to not be precancerous lesions. The others are and can often be effectively removed, preventing some progression to cancer. So listen to that. Literally preventing some cancers from developing. Folks with these are still sometimes recommended to have more frequent colonoscopies, as unpleasant as they are, since you do want to ensure that more of them don't pop up. Seventh, we have description. This is where we explain what your class does, which you can use to tell people why you get colonoscopies, which is ultimately because it's a whole lot easier to actually cure colon cancer if you don't develop colon cancer in the first place, or you pick it up at a very early stage. Getting a scope all the way up there is the best way to identify problems. Eighth, we have the comment field, which you can use to make a note for yourself, or me in the video comments where you can tell me what video you want to see next. Ninth, we have the progression table UUID field, which is used to link your class to the progressions file so it levels up appropriately. 10th has God, so this is related to your class's ability to call divine intervention, like Shadowheart summoning Saloon's lovely moon brightness while trying to destroy the darkness of Shar, while trying to visualize polyps inside your intestines. 11th, sound class type. This is going to be the sound style for your class. 12th, primary ability and spell casting ability. This determines the ability that ultimately modifies your classes and your class's spells abilities. Since a colonoscopy is a lot more complicated than you think because you really don't want to perforate the bowel. An endoscopist class would use intelligence. 13th, learning strategy. So all the official game files only use the entry of all children for this. So my guess is that this field is something that was made deprecated by Larian over the course of development, so it should be able to be effectively ignored. 14th, must prepare spell. This determines if a class has to prepare spells, like for druids or clerics. So think about choosing which spells that you have in your toolbar, or choice of flavoring for your pre-colonoscopy laxative drink. 15th, can learn spells from scrolls. So this is automatically activated for wizards and could be activated for your class. 16th, tags. This can really help role-playing. It enables you to have custom dialogue or other actions by the tag that you select. 17th, class equipment. This is going to be a link to the equipment entry that you'll have for your class. We're going to cover this in a future video, so be sure to leave a like and leave a comment so I get the message that it's something that you want. 18th, character creation pose. This is a UUID that likely doesn't really do that much because it's the same for all the classes and subclasses, so it's likely another one of those fields that are deprecated by Larian. 19th, base HP and HP per level. These are fairly self-explanatory. 20th, hotbar columns, including the common/class/items toolbars. These code for the number of columns on your hotbar for each of these categories, and they always have to add up to 16, but you can vary them. 21st, animation set priority. No class uses this field, so I'm pretty sure that this is another deprecated field. 22nd, is default for spell use action. I think this is related to using spell points by default because it's only coded for wizards. Figure out what this field codes for or no, let me know in the video comments and I can give you credit. Now, the last three in this file. 23rd, multi-class spellcaster modifier. This is a modifier for when you're multi-classed and you want to cast a spell from your original class or from your new class. I believe that it's an integer that modifies the multiplier of what you cast. Though if you fully understand it, let me know in the video comments. 24th is somatic with instrument. This is related to bards needing to have an instrument to ultimately cast the instrument related spells. So it needs to be enabled for that to happen. Like an endoscopist being one with their scope. 25th and last, spell list, which links your class to a particular spell list. We'll cover this in a future video when we go over custom spell list. So I know that was a lot, but we're not done yet. Let's cover the progressions file now. We're not going to follow the theme of colonoscopies because at this point we'd be going into the small intestine, which doesn't really happen so much during colonoscopies, and it's also guarded by the Sparrow Prince. But we will be moving into honoring Sven-Vinka. So in the progressions file, first, UUID does the same thing as in class descriptions. Second, TableUUID. So this is going to be used to link the progressions file to your class descriptions file. Third, name. So again, this is the code name used in the toolkit for your class. And naturally, we're going to be picking the name class Sven. Fourth, level. So this is going to be used to indicate the level that you're currently coding for. So for Sven, it'll be 9001. Fifth, progression type. This is a field that's going to be used to code whether or not the progression level that you're currently coding is for a main class, a subclass, or a multi-class. We're going to be covering what number to use once we get to the subclass video, so be sure to subscribe so you see it. Sixth, PassivesAdded and PassivesRemoved. This is where you can give or take away passives from your class. And be sure to learn how to make custom passives using my most recent video. Seventh, boost. This is where you can give yourself extra goodies like spells, spell points, or sweet dreams of Sven-Vinka when you go to sleep and camp for the night. We'll cover how to do each of those things in a future video. 8th, allow improvement. So this is where you can code whether or not you can select another feat at the level. So pick the Vinca feat, which will automatically teleport your character to Belgium. 9th, selectors. This can code for giving the player a chance to select from a list of spells when they level up, or just be given a list of spells. So possibly a list of video games that Sven could make next, which could very easily be the next Divinity game. Because I agree with people on Reddit that I want to see Malady again. 10th is multiclass. So this is going to code the level at which your class could then multi-class. So for Sven, this will naturally be level 1. So there was a lot more in this video than I thought there would be, but it is exactly what you need if you need a comprehensive guide of how to make a class mod using all the fields. I don't know everything about every field that I mentioned. Be sure to let me know what I missed or what I needed to elaborate on a little bit more in the video comments. I like to teach you all how to do exciting and awesome stuff. I'm also open to learning new things and helping create a positive modding community here on my channel. Thank you so much for watching, and for everyone who stuck through all the way to the end of this video. Remember to like and subscribe, and Starship out.
There are many answers to that question. None are important.